Today we're going to be looking at state and city income taxes. So some states and cities tax personal income as a percent of their federal taxable income, while others do it on a percent of their gross income. This percent is a fixed or flat rate that no matter how much a person makes, it's the same percent across the board. So let's look at some examples. Allison has calculated her federal taxable income to be $45,300. She pays a state income tax rate of 3% on her federal taxable income. We have to find her state income tax. So we're going to change this 3% into a decimal, which is 0.03. Then we're going to take 0.03 and multiply it by her taxable income, which is $45,300. When we multiply this through, you should get $1,359. So this is the amount of tax that goes to the state. Let's look at another example. Lee has to pay a city income tax of 1.5% for her federal taxable income. Last year, her federal taxable income was $34,100. What amount of city income tax did she pay? So we take the percent, 1.5, and we change it into a decimal for 0.015. Then we take the percent as a decimal and multiply it by our taxable income, $34,100. Multiply this through, and we get $511.50. I want you to do the next problem. Pause the video, then come back and check your work. The state in which Angel lives charges a 2.8% income tax based on a person's federal taxable income. If Angel's federal taxable income last year was $29,900, how much state income tax did he pay? So we're going to take the percent, 2.8, and change it to a decimal. So we get 0.028. Take that percent as a decimal and multiply it by the taxable income. And we get $837.20. Okay, now let's look at another method. So if it's a gradual or graduated income tax. So some states and cities use a graduated income tax rate like the federal government. In this tax system, the tax rate gets higher as the taxable income gets larger. The portion of the tax rate schedule that might be used by state is shown below. So this is the example. So if you notice this table, if you don't make that much money, you're going to have a smaller tax rate. You only have 2% of your income. But if you make quite a bit of money, you're going to have a fee or your initial amount plus 10% of anything over $64,000. So it's kind of being more fair for those that make more money, have to pay more to the states and local governments, and those that have a hard time making enough money to live off of, they don't have to pay as much. There's a little balance there. So let's look at an example. Your taxable income last year was $25,800. What was your state income tax? So we are going to use the chart above. So $25,800. $25,800 is in this row here. So it says $720 plus 5% over 24,000. Okay, so let's figure this out. We need to know how much is over $25,000. So we're going to take our taxable income and subtract it by the $24,000. And we get $1,800. So this amount here, we're going to have 5% of it. So 5% changed to a decimal is 0.5 of the amount, and we get $90 when we multiply that through. So we're going to add that to the $720 for the initial amount. We add that, we get $810 that we will owe for our state income tax. The next problem, Jennifer's taxable income last year was $43,600. We need to find her state income tax. So use the chart, 43,600. 43,600 is going to be here. So we have 1,600 as our initial amount plus 7% over 40,000. So we need to find that amount. 7% over 40,000. So take the taxable income, 43,600, and subtract out the $40,000. So we get $3,600. So 7% of that, so 0.07 times 3,600 gives us $252. And we add it to the $1,600. So our state income tax amount is $1,852. I want you to pause the video, try the next problem, and then come back and check it. Okay, so we need to find state income tax of $38,200. So with the table, 38,000. Let's see, which would be here. So $1,120 plus 6% over 32,000. So let's figure that all out. $1,120 plus any amount that is over 32,000, but we're have to pay 6% of that. So let's find how much is over $32,000. So take taxable income and subtract 32,000. And we get $6,200. So 6% of that is $372. And add the initial amount, and we get $1,492 for the state income tax. So that's the lesson on state and city income tax. Please reach out if you have any questions.